Hi everybody, how y'all doing? So what this little series we're going to be doing here is to show you guys how to play different classes for Vemintide 2. At least from my perspective. Understand, my perspective is not the perfect perspective, it's not the end-all be-all. I am going to miss things, I may be doing things wrong, or I may even misinterpret a few things here or there. Now, the biggest one that I've heard the most complaints about, which I've heard the most complaints about this class by 2, is the Elven Waywatcher. The exact words I keep hearing consistently is, her blows are too weak. There's a list about this particular character. Now, the Dwarven Ranger is the next one, but don't worry, we'll get to the Ranger. Let's take a look at the Waywatcher. So working for you out the gate, we have to look at your talents. Out the gate, you have increased ammo capacity, you have double the effective range of ranged weaponry, which means your damage fall off before you start losing damage from range is doubled, and you regenerate health over time when you are below half your health. Talents-wise, you can increase your attack speed, you can increase your critical hit chance, you can increase stamina regen. Recover arrows is totally an option. Health regeneration, you can choose to replace your health regeneration with arrow regen, or you can regenerate all party members up to half their health. Lastly, temporary health options. And finally, ammunition recovery with your special ability. Your special is the True Shot Arrow. It fires out 3 arrows that will literally pierce through multiple enemies and kill a bunch of stuff. Now, I honestly, my favorite weapon is the glaive. It is the one weapon that the elf has that every single blow is an armor-piercing blow. It is, however, slow. And I personally hate the two-handed sword. The attack arc for the power attack is so narrow. It's narrow, I'd say it's even more narrow than One Eye's rapier, and it's a two-handed sword. And the swing radius of this blade is nice, but its ability to cleave through things is virtually non-existent. Her spear is the only weapon with significant reach in the entire game. Most weapons, their reach is about 2 or 3 feet. The spear, the reach is insane. It is one of the unique choices that you can make for a melee weapon. There is my ability to strike this dummy in the head. All the way from here, I can hit the target. Not to mention the fact that it comes with a decent amount of stamina base, and this particular one I think gives 2 stamina? 1 stamina. So this one comes with 3 stamina base, which is about the extent of the stamina you're going to get on the elf is 3 as your base stamina before anything modifies it. But the spear is kind of nice in the aspect of reach, because you are almost never in danger and able to poke away. You do have to power attack to pierce an armored target, because we'll show you what this thing does versus armored targets is kind of pathetic. So as you can see, you do have to charge attack with it against an armored target. Now, what I've been using recently is actually dual swords, because they provide stamina 3 base, and the attack rate is very nice. It's just really not very good against an armored target unless you strike them in the power attack position and get 2 attacks off at once and get a headshot. Get that headshot, you can pretty much kill the target. But it's really good against smaller enemies, because just by the sheer rate of attacks, you can end up killing quite a few enemies. What you want to use for armor targets instead is your bow. Almost doesn't matter where you hit most elite targets, you will kill them with a single hit with a charge shot. And normal targets, a regular shot with the longbow kills. That's a chest shot. That's a headshot. Normal target's dead. And against the target way over there, I'm still doing 850 to the head without a charge, and with a charge it just flies through the armor and murders them. So you kind of develop this type of combat where against non-armored enemies, you get in here and you melee and you beat the living crap out of them, and then as soon as you see an armored enemy, you back up, draw the bow, and just start flinging charge shots into them as quick as you can. Usually trying to hit them in the head so it only takes one. Now me personally, I would prefer a bow that gives me regeneration arrows on headshot. That is available. I've been trying to re-roll to get a new one that has that ability. I just can't seem to get the re-roll to show you guys. Melee weapons, the blocking, causing them to take increased damage is incredibly useful, particularly against boss monsters. Yes, I realize they will break your entire stamina bar with one hit, but that means that you go back in and they're taking 50% damage not only from you, but from all your allies. Take advantage of that. So we're going to go into a mission here, and I'm going to kind of record a little bit of the elf, and then you guys will get some commentary about it, and it'll be instructing you how to fight as the Waywatcher. But I'm not going to make you sit there through an entire mission. We're actually just going to do some cutting. So let's take a look. So the biggest problem you're going to have with the elf when you're playing the elf is hit points. You're going to constantly find that you're out of stamina and that you need to dodge. And as you can see from footage, if you dodge the wrong way, you get your clock cleaned quickly. In addition to that, most of the elf's weapons have very, very different reaches. The dual swords I have, for instance, are virtually on top of the target, whereas if I'm using the spear or the glaive, I can reach you from a very far distance, but my swing rate is drastically reduced, removing the primary advantage of playing the elf. That is to say, you play the elf in melee because you can swing at a ridiculous rate. So what you have to learn to do is against hordes, you want to ideally get in, mix it up, and then dodge back or way to the side and make them have to keep rotating to you between strikes. What you want to do, however, in this case, is also be very aware of your surroundings. You need to really seriously have some map knowledge to play the elf with anything that is not a reach weapon. Which means you need to know that you're going to dodge into a tight confined space, or you're going to dodge into something easier to get around with. Now, against harder enemies, such as the Storm Vermin, you want to push them off or knock them back just enough so you can draw the bow and shoot them. Your bow, particularly a long bow, has massive armor-piercing qualities, and you don't even have to hit headshots a lot of the time to get a single-shot kill from a bow. This is being played, by the way, on veteran difficulty, which you will see at the end. We are not playing on recruit, we are actually playing on veteran, and we may even do future videos on as hard as champion, depending on how much time I have to play the game to build up the character. The last thing you have to consider about the elves is look at my hit point bar. This is how you survive. You are going to build up a ton of temporary HP, as well as regenerate up to 50% of your actual HP. Take advantage. It's okay to take a hit. Just don't take the big hits. Take the small hits. Use your special whenever you see an enemy that's going to be a problem, or when you see a horde of them. If you have a bow that recharges on headshots from the bow, your Waywatcher True Shot spread does count. I have fired and gotten 10, 11 arrows back, which is plenty enough to keep working with, particularly if you're going for headshots. When you see hordes of enemies charging you, charge the bow up, fire, hit 3 or 4 people at once. And in particular, whenever you see an elite enemy, it's don't use the swords, try not to use your melee weapon. You're specifically the end-all be-all of ranged attackers. Take advantage. So, that has been almost the complete collection. We're going to take a look at talents, and I'm going to give you my recommendations for a particular bow-type build, Waywatcher Elf. So we are back in game here. Boop. Hi everybody. What's that? So for a Waywatcher Elf, I prefer the dual swords or the glaive. But it's up to you if you have a different melee weapon preference. Almost essentially, having used a Hagsbane bow, having used a swift bow, and having used the longbow, I almost exclusively will tell you get the damn longbow out. Just straight up, longbow all the way. The Hagsbane is nice if you don't want to... If you want to rely on less skill, but if you have the skill to get headshots, you want the longbow just for the sheer damage it does instantaneously, without any repercussion, without any chance for the enemy to counterattack. And on top of that, it has the medium range base ammunition, which brings your ammunition count up to 40. Other than that, talents-wise, the Fury for 5% extra attack speed is almost crucial, because it will mean even against enemies with fast attacks like Berserkers, you're likely to get the first hit off. Down here, I prefer the extra damage on headshots to make sure those headshots on armored enemies bring them down, particularly against boss enemies. You can really take a Rat Ogre's health off just hitting it in the head a couple times and piss it off royally. I am a preference for regeneration over time. I have used the recover arrow and bolts instead, but definitely increase your own health. Regeneration will keep you alive longer. It's just one of the best talents you can get. Down here, the temporary health on kill, every single kill, you will just have a health bar that is, even if you've been beat up and worn down, your health bar will be nearly maxed out with temporary health. This is one of the best things you can choose. Lastly, when I hit level 25, I'm taking Life Bloom arrows, and that's the only one of these Corinne's Blessing. Life Bloom arrows is tempting if you're having trouble staying alive, but the Blessing, recovering 20% of your ammunition every time you use your special. I used my special 14-15 times in that mission. I would almost never run out of arrows. Between that and regain arrow on headshot, I would definitely just spam arrows all day long. Cosmetics, I quite honestly prefer the way the Sentinel looks as opposed to the Uber Champion of Uber Strike, but that's me. You can do what you want there. But that has been Fiaura's detailed look at the elf. What do you guys think? You have personal opinion, personal preference? Something you want to say? Let me know. Comments below. If you like this video, please do hit the like button. If it's been helpful, let me know as well. Again, I'm not the end-all be-all. You might have a different style of playing the character that might be more effective. I might want to try it out. I might want to do a revised video. Tune in next time when we're going to take a look at the Dwarf Ranger. And please remember to hit the like button if you did find this helpful, and the dislike button if you didn't. Here's the previous video for you guys. Go check it out! And support me on Patreon, because that's how I pay some of the bills around here and get you access to certain things. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later tonight for Fallout Equestria, which you can see linked over here, probably above me. Hopefully I got that done. In the meantime, good night, everybody.